Hello again, everyone. In this technical analysis of the stock market video, we're going to take a look at the Nasdaq. I call the video resistance because that's what I think the market is about to run into if it hasn't already. It may have done it towards the end of last week. And then we're going to take a look at four Nasdaq stocks. I guess they're on, a couple of these are Dow stocks also. Apple, Facebook, Microsoft, and Amazon. They all reported earnings this week, and we're going to take a look at those four stocks. So let's start off here with the Nasdaq Composite. So on Friday, the Nasdaq was down 17.87, and you can see it had a nice thrust up here on Wednesday and Thursday. The dotted line is where we got the low on October 11th, okay? The first thrust down wave, what I call minute wave 3 of wave 1, okay? So we had that first impulse wave 1 down that completed in November. And this low right here, it's really interesting how the market really just, let me grab a little marker here. What this did is it just fluctuated right around this point for basically about 2 months, month and a half, 2 months. And you know, when you draw the dotted line in there, that's exactly where we're at, and that's what we're running into right now. Okay, we actually closed slightly above it on Thursday and slightly below it on Friday. So when I look over here and I drill down and look at the 60-minute waves, I think there's a pretty good chance that this 5 waves have completed. If they haven't, maybe one more little push. We'll just watch and see. And of course, the real threshold, what I'm really watching for, is a breakdown out of this channel to let me know that things are starting to get going, and especially if we break down below this fourth wave low in here, and that low is 70.11 on the Nasdaq Composite. All right, let's take a look at Apple. Okay, this is a daily chart of Apple, and you can see nice big thrust up after their earnings. Everybody was happy with their earnings. Of course, you know, they made that announcement ahead of time, and now make sure I've got this on daily. I do. Okay, so we got a zigzag back. Now, the real question is how much of a zigzag? I think that we may have had 5 waves complete here in the move down, and the low here is on January 3rd. Okay, and now we're looking at a zigzag, and the retracement, if we look at 2 versus 1, so we're looking at minute wave 2 versus wave 1, and whether I call these minute waves or whether I call them minor wave 1, minor wave 2, really doesn't matter at this point in time. And so what we're looking at is we've got very close to a 38% retracement. So that's not a deep retracement for wave 2. The other thing I'm looking at is internally into this wave, where is wave C versus A? Okay, so this zigzag in here. And when I look at C versus A, the first threshold that I'd be looking for is that C equals A. Well, that's right about where it is, okay? At 168.66, C equals A in here. So, you know, it doesn't have to push a lot higher in a wave 2. It's definitely met the minimum as far as a zigzag, so we'll watch and see. Many times they'll push up into the, let me get my marker or my crosshairs going here. Many times it'll push up into the previous 4th wave. So we're kind of just, you know, we haven't even quite done that yet. So we could easily continue to push a little bit higher here on Apple. Let's take a look at Facebook. Now, Facebook's another stock that I think has completed 5 waves down here in the initial move into an A wave. And so right now, I think that, you know, looking at a B wave, and for lack of a, you know, this is what I'm calling it, ABC right now, because I think that we're in a major cycle wave 2 pullback. And so the initial approach to that, it doesn't have to be a zigzag, but that's what I'm looking at right now. And so if I look at this as a zigzag, you know, where is this retraced at this point? B versus A. We've gone a little bit over 50%. Okay, so not quite 61.8. So we're definitely doing a deep retracement in here. We're definitely overbought on the RSI, and I use a 10-bar RSI. I just like it better than the 14-bar, and I use it on all my time frames. And so right now we could be in that zone in the 50 to 61.8, where that's all she wrote on the pullback. Okay, so we'll be watching to see if this starts to break down. All right, so that's the picture. Of course, this is the big thrust up that happened after their earnings. All right, let's take a look at Microsoft. Okay, so Microsoft, to me, has been doing pretty much a sideways chop. It's kind of like what the market has done. The initial thrust down, though, in this wave one wasn't nearly as deep, and then we've been, really doing the same kind of thing backwards, in terms of the, the A, B, C for a wave two, because I don't think this completed wave two. And the main reason I'm drawing that conclusion is when I look at the wave structure internally. I mean, yeah, this is definitely a 3, 3, and a 5 in here. That gives you a flat. That could be a completed correction right in here. But then when I start looking at what you get with the next move down, that's not a 5 wave. It's not a clear 5 wave. And it definitely fits when you drill down, you look at the hourly, whether you look at this on here, the Nasdaq, the S&P, the Dow, it clearly fits a WXY 3-wave structure so much better, okay? And now we've been getting this 5-wave move back up, and when I look into here, I think there's a pretty good chance that wave 2 is completed too. And of course, their earnings came out, I think it was Wednesday after the market, and you can see it's trended down in here. They did not like what they heard, and either, I can't remember exactly. Oh, I think it was the data center, the Azure, I think that's how you pronounce it, Azure cloud processing type of services supposedly had been slowing. And so investors were like, oh, okay, started selling based on that. So that's the picture. We'll have to watch and see if we get some continuation that I expect in here on Microsoft. Let's take a look at Amazon. That's the last one we're going to look at in this video. Okay, Amazon is an amazing stock. Now, here's what I'm seeing from the high here on September 4th. In the move down, I think we had a first impulsive wave down here that completed on October 30th. And then we've been getting this sideways move. It's very similar to what I explained on the Nasdaq. The chop that we've been getting sideways, same type of wave structures, same type of thing that we're seeing in here. But before I let me drill in and look at the hourly chart, I want to go back and look at the weekly so you can see what I'm looking at. This is truly an amazing stock. Now, I think what we're doing is that, we had this big move up in wave one that peaked in December of 1999. And then I think we had this big wave two that really didn't finish until we got into 2006. And really, I based that a lot on this wave structure in wave B. This was not a clear impulsive wave in wave B here. And so this is the picture for wave two. I think we finished a cycle wave 3 up here at the high in September. And now I think we're correcting back down in a cycle wave 4. So now the real question is, how deep is cycle wave 4 going to go? Typically what you do is you retrace into the previous 4th wave, okay, of the lower degree, okay? So right now we're going right back down into this area right here. That's the 4th wave. But how you do that, I mean, there's 13 different patterns for corrective patterns in Elliott wave. So could it be a zigzag? Could it be a flat? Could it be a triangle? Could be a combination of any of the above? Absolutely. So right now we're just taking a look at, the first waves down, the first kind of wave structure, and start working our way through it. So let's go back to the daily and look at this. And right now, I just think we're doing, first intermediate wave 1, intermediate wave 2, and I think it's complete. And I'm looking at that based on the wave structure again. Let me kind of pull this up over here. Here's the hourly view. And within this C wave, I think we've got a 5-wave move. And there's a good chance that it completed in here with the high here this last week. Watching to see this trend line break. It's between wave 2 and 4 and where we came down to on Friday. So the stock was down, let's see, let me go back to the daily. The stock was down $92.50 on Friday after the earnings. They did not like a couple of things they heard in there, and apparently there's some issues with India or something. I didn't get into all the detail. All I know is the stock took a pretty good little hit. Where did it close on Thursday? On Thursday, it closed 117.18, and you dropped 92 points. So I think it was about 4% or so on Friday. So Watching to see if we get continued breakdown in here. That's what I'd be expecting. We'll see what happens this coming week. All right, that's it for this video, and hope you have a great weekend. If you felt like the video was helpful, hit the thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to the channel. And, well, I don't have joehenches.net. Let me just show you where that is. Okay, if you just type in joehenches.net, you'll see how it comes up for me. You can actually type in Beyond the Chart, and it'll get you there too, beyondthechart.com or joehenches.net. And here's the homepage, and you can sign up for free updates, market updates that come out twice a week, Wednesday and Saturday. They're free, first name and email, and you're good to go. All right, everyone, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on the next video.